Hey there, welcome. Thanks for joining me. If this is your first time to my channel, my name is Violet, and today I'm going to be sharing with you how I made these beautiful initial gift boxes that you can use for all kinds of occasions. What you're going to go ahead and need first is a printout of whatever letter you choose to use. In my case, I'm using the letter M. Then you're going to go ahead and grab some cardboard box or a poster board, and you're going to trace out that letter onto your board. I received a gift like this for Mother's Day with some fresh flowers and candy from one of my children, and I posted it on my private Instagram page, and so many people commented saying how they loved it, how they wish they knew how to make one. So I decided to go ahead and make a tutorial on how you can make these letter boxes and use them for so many different ways. So once you're done tracing out your letter on your cardboard, what you're going to do is just grab some good scissors or a box cutter and go ahead and cut out your letter. My children know I love chocolate, so that's why they decided to go ahead and make me one with some chocolate and fresh flowers. Now, in my case, the way I'm going to show it to you, I wanted to show you more of a glam and style, also using artificial flowers so it can be like a forever box, so that person can keep and just place it and display it anywhere in their room or in any area of their home. So once you're done tracing out your box, cutting out your letter from your cardboard, you're going to go ahead and grab a ruler and another piece of cardboard. And all I did was use the same cardboard that I traced the letter out. So I just traced out these strips of 1 inch, basically the width of my ruler, and they were about 10 inches in length. So once I'm done tracing each one of these out, I just cut them out using, again, my box cutter. And I used about roughly six of these strips for this size of letter. Once you're done cutting all your strips, just grab something round. That way you can roll your strips around that item. And I'm just using a paint jar that I had, and I just wrapped it around each one of these strips. Now, and the reason why I'm doing this is you don't really need it exactly for this letter, but say you're going to make a letter S or a letter G, something with a lot of curves, you want to do this to each one of your strips in order for it to be easier for you to handle and wrap it around each one of those letters. So I just wanted to go ahead and add this step to this tutorial, just to let you guys know that if you do decide to make a different kind of letter, you would want to curl those up a little bit just to help you wrap them around each one of them. So once you're done wrapping each one of those and curling them, go ahead and grab some tape. In my case, the only tape I had was this red tape. I thought I had clear tape when I started this tutorial, but I didn't. So I'm just going to use what I have. And then I'm going to place that tape underneath my letter M. Then I'm going to get one of the strips and hold it right at the edge upwards, and then I'm going to flip over that tape and wrap it onto the outside of that strip, just like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the opposite side. So if you do this project, I would highly recommend you use clear tape. Again, it just would look more professional, and you won't have to worry about that red seeping through or being seen in any way. So just go ahead and do both ends like that. Now that extra tape that's at the end, don't cut it out. All you're going to do is grab some scissors and kind of cut where that fold is at, and then just flip inwards your tape. Just like that. And now you can start with the top part. That extra piece of strip, just go ahead and fold it over to shape that top part of your M. Again, grabbing some tape and just placing it towards the back of your letter, and then folding it upwards towards the strip. And then just cut that little point off and then fold inwards your tape. And you're going to do this to the entire M. Just continue adding strips little at a time and then adding your tape. Once you do get to certain areas, or like say where that V points are at of your M, what you're going to do is you're going to cut your tape into 2 pieces, or you can use more of the gift wrapping tape, the smaller piece of tape. And there you have the beginnings of your M. And now we're just going to go ahead and start doing the bottom part where those little V points are at. And I'm just going to measure out where that V point needs to be at. I'm going to start folding my strip. Then here is where I cut my tape in half. And I did that because the tape was too big for it to be folded and look nice and neat. So I ended up deciding to cut it in half in order for it to fit in that little groove. And like I said, I got this for Mother's Day, but you can use this for a birthday gift, a baby shower gift. I mean, it's just so many different possibilities of how you can use this. And even as a centerpiece, these would be beautiful as a centerpiece. And you don't have to do just letters. You can use make numbers and use them as number gift boxes as well, using the same concept, just printing out the letter or the number that you want to use, and then doing the same thing, adding the sides the same way I'm showing you right now. I mean, I've seen these. I went onto Pinterest just to look and see the different ways and options that you can use these. I saw someone post a Pinterest picture that they actually put the initials. I guess they were going to propose, and they made the initials of the last name and placed wired LED lights in here along with the flowers, and then they placed the ring in the center. And I thought that was absolutely beautiful. So there's so many different ways, again, that you can make something like this for whatever occasion you decide to use it for. You guys let me know how you're planning on using one of these, or how you would like to use one of these in the future. So once you're done, as you can see, there's still some extra piece of that strip at the end. Don't worry about it until towards the end. You can start cutting all of it off and adding extra tape. Once you get to that center part of your M, just go ahead and fold over both strips, and then you just add that tape to hold both of the strips together. And then you're just going to continue with the top part. And as you can see, you need to cut off some of the strips of the that are already taped onto your M in order for that V part in the middle to be flush to your letter. So just add your strip and then go ahead and do the opposite side the same way. Again, cutting any of that extra cardboard that you need to remove in order for that to fit right and flush to your letter. And then you add your tape towards the back and then fold it over. Now all I did with that extra cardboard or strip at the top is I cut it off, but you can easily flip it over and just add tape for more security. Basically that's up to you, but I just decided to go ahead and remove that part since I thought it was a little bit too big and too much for it to be on top. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to get some tape and add extra tape on each one of the corners of my letter in order for it to be nice and secure, because I want to make sure those corners move or pop open or what have you. So I decided to go ahead and add some extra tape on each one of those little corners. And again, if you use clear tape, you won't see any of this tape like you're seeing online. But again, this is all I had. So I decided just to go ahead and go with it and show you anyway how to make it. Because I wanted to make sure that you guys saw too how you would just add your tape around each one of your letters. So there you have it, your letter. Now what you're going to do is figure out what you're going to add to your box or your letter. And if you need some kind of elevation, what I recommend or what I use is some foam, floral foam that I just cut and fit into my letter. So as you can see, I'm just cutting it up with a butter knife that I have for my crafts. And I also split it in half in case it's too thick. And I'm just going to add it on into all my letter. You don't necessarily have to add foam. If you can add something else to the bottom, anything that you need or the area that you need to get some of that lift so you can see whatever gift you're going to place into your box. Once I was done with that, I decided to go ahead and make this more of a glam style M. So I'm going to use some bling wrap from Totally Dazzled, and I'm just kind of measuring out how much I'm going to need for half of my letter, since this I know that I can cut in strips. Once I figured out more or less how much I was going to need for half, now I'm just going to measure out how many strips I need for each one of my letters. In my case, in order for it to be the same height, I had to cut it into 5 strips. So in other words, I counted 5 little blings and then I cut it into that strip size. But again, since you know that we cut those strips the size of a ruler, you can easily place the ruler on top of your bling wrap and do it that way as well. And here I am just counting it to make sure that I did cut it at the right area where I needed to. So once you have all your strips, what you're going to do is basically just hot glue it onto your letter. And Totally Dazzled has gold, rose gold, silver, all kinds of colors of bling wrap. So make sure to check their website out. I'll leave their link down below along with a discount code. If you want to purchase anything, go ahead and feel free to use my discount code, because I know we all love getting things on a budget. So go ahead and feel free to use that as well. So once you're in that little end part, or where the corners are at, just go ahead and get a popsicle stick or something sharp in order for you to insert that strip in there. As you can see, all I'm going to do is add a little bit of hot glue. Then I just grab my scissors and kind of push it inwards in order for it to be right where that point is at. And there you have it. And just continue adding all your bling wrap around the entire outer part of your letter. Cut off any of that extra bling wrap that you don't need. Make sure everything is nice and secure, and add any hot glue that you need. And there you have it. Now, another part that I'm going to be doing is adding flowers. And I'm only adding flowers to one side of my letter. You can, again, imagination, if you want to fill it on the entire letter with flowers, feel free to do it that way. I just wanted to make this with half of the letter with flowers. So I'm using one stem, which is 6 of these flowers that come from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to glue them to one side of my letter. You can also leave your stem on it and just kind of insert it into that foam. But since some of them didn't have it and some of them did, I just kind of cut my stems a little bit short just to have something to stick it into the foam, but not necessarily to secure it with that, because I secured it with glue. So once you're done adding all of your flowers and you're happy with the way it looks, now you can go ahead and grab some Bling brooches. And again, I'm using some that from Totally Dazzled, and these are some pearl ones and some that have some sequins on them. And I'm just going to open up each one of the flowers, or as many as flowers as you like, and right in the center I'm going to add one of the brooches using my hot glue gun. And if you don't feel comfortable, feel free to use E6000 as well, along with your hot glue gun, to add each one of these brooches to your flower. As you can see, I'm just going to glue it right in the center of each one of these flowers. And I grabbed a whole bunch of different sizes. I'm not using all of them big. I just wanted some of them, with pearls, some of them with sequins, some of them larger pieces in the center, and some of them have smaller pieces in the center. So now it's coming along, and again, just continue adding as many as you like. Even if you wanted to add not a lot of bling and you wanted to be more farmhouse, you can also add some burlap flowers in here as well. Will look really pretty. So once you're done adding all your brooches to your flowers, you're going to need some tissue paper, and I just decided to go with the white tissue paper, but again, you can use any color you like. Then I just cut my tissue paper into strips. Then I cut those strips into squares. And I just used one tissue paper for this. So all I did was each one of those squares, I grabbed two of them and kind of placed them in different angles, put a little dot of hot glue for them to attach together, and then scrunched it up to make like a tissue flower, I guess you could call them. And I just continue doing this to all these little tissues. Again, this is preference. You can add as many or as little as you like, or not add any of these tissue stars at all. This is more for a filler, so if you want to fill in any of the gaps so you won't see any of the green or the bottom part of your letter, that's a good way to cover it up. Once you're done with the amount of tissue flowers or stars that you want to make, go ahead and grab the same tissue color or an opposite color and cut it in strips large enough and the right size in order for it to be glued onto your letter or inside your letter. And all I did was add some hot glue around the rim or the edge of my letter and then insert that tissue paper inwards. So that's how I did it to cover up that green foam. But if you wanted to do this before you insert your foam, you feel free to just wrap around the tissue paper around the foam and then just glue it into your letter that way. And it probably would have been easier, but I just did it this way for some reason, so it still works out. So once you're done adding all that tissue paper and covering up your green foam, now you can pick anything you want to add to the other side of your letter. In my case, I had this box, a container of candies, so I went ahead and just decided to use the white ones. I thought it would look prettier just all one color instead of using the different wrapping paper colors. So once I did that, I kind of just played with the candies and figured out how I wanted to place them into my letter. And then once I figured out how I wanted to place them into my letter, I removed all the candies and started adding my little filler stars. And I just did all around the corners because I figured that way if I place these around the corners, around the edge of my letter, all the candies will be in the center and you really wouldn't see that green foam from the bottom anyway, because it's all going to be in the center and the edges will be covered with these little flowers. So that's the way I decided to do it. Instead of adding the candy first, I decided to go ahead and add these little tissue stars first. So once you're done adding all your tissues and you're happy with the amount, go ahead and start placing your candies into your letter. And I'm just kind of making them in a row, just making sure they're all facing the same way and kind of look even in the rows. So just go ahead and place them any way you like into your letter. And once you're done adding all the candies you like, and as many as you like, or whatever you decide to place into your letter, you're done. And it looks absolutely beautiful, breathtaking if you ask me. And you can do this for any occasion. Again, just changing up the colors or what you add into your letter box. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and share with friends and family. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, stay blessed. Bye.